Good morning. Good morning. How are you all doing? Well, oops, whoops. It is actually afternoon. It is 2:15 in the afternoon. So I want to tell you all about something. I've been stop, go researching. One of the top topics that I'm finding on social media, it is, these conspiracy theories about the Illuminati, devil worship, celebrities, XYZ 1, 2, 3. Now, the first thing I can tell you is that they're incorrect when they say they're worshiping the devil. Their belief system, it is actually called Saturnines. They worship Saturn. Okay. If you want to know more about Saturn as the entity, then do your Googles, right? Number two, I believe that there are certain people who serve almost as marshals as people go through the initiation process. The new class or the new participants or the new followers as Saturnines, their official coming out occasion, I believe it is during the Met Gala. Okay. I believe that's their celebration because I believe the initiation process starts 10:31 and it runs all the way up until the day of the Met Gala. And if you look at all the dates in between that time frame, pay attention what's going on with Saturn, pay attention what's going on with as far as star placement and all of that in the cosmos. I also believe that some are allowed to get close enough, but they have already decided that that person will be or are disposable. And they're usually closely associated with one of the marshals. And I believe that some marshals are higher up than others. And one of the ones who were top tier, it is Sean Diddy Combs. Now, yesterday, for whatever reason, a thought came to me that the best place to see information and get your evidence, it's going to be from images of parties. And just by chance, scrolling on YouTube, this video comes up of Pop Smoke, that's the gentleman in the black, Pop Smoke performing at one of Diddy's parties. Now, as I'm showing these videos, please understand they're progressive videos that were taken frame by frame by frame by frame. Okay. So if you look at this picture right here, you can tell that it's a still, and he's just now really getting started performing. Like he's still in that moment that he's excited to be there and he's just going. But if you look over his shoulder, what do you see? What do you see? And what is it or he looking at, right? And right next to Pop Smoke, that is Diddy. That's actually Sean Diddy Love Puffy Combs. Okay. Now let's look at this next image. And I forgot to mention, it isn't common for a whole bunch of people in one space for their eyes to start changing. Okay, that's not natural. Let's look at the next one. Okay, this is another shot. Now I want you to pay attention to this. He is still in the same exact pose, but did you notice somebody are missing right there next to him? Literally, this is the next frame, and Diddy disappears, and the guy over his shoulder disappears. But if you look to my right, you will see another entity with its eyes red and glowing, right? This is the next image, next frame. What do you see? It is kind of blurry because you got to remember, like I said, I was stopping frame by frame by frame. Now, the big gigantuan man returns. So does Diddy. Look at his eyes. Look at his face. Then, if you look at the side of Pop Smoke's face, you see literally another face on the side of his face. You can see the two eyes and you can see the mouth. Okay. If you look at the guy in the white shoulder to my left, his eyes are glowing too. But if you look back, the next frame, his eyes weren't glowing. You see that? Next frame, first frame. Their eyes wasn't, that guy eyes wasn't glowing like that. Look, you right there. His eyes wasn't glowing like that. And then all of a sudden, look. But as you watch this party, it is progressively get intensified, and they're getting crunk. This is frame by frame shots. Now look, this is Pop Smoke, and then if you look, they go to little shorty again. But do you see this right here? Somebody with a yellow cloak on, right there, and they don't even look like a person. They don't at all. Now, if you'll see right here, this guy in the gray, something or other, in front of or beside Diddy right here. I want you to notice something. Where's that guy in this shot? Because that's the guy who eyes were going, wasn't it? No, that is the guy in the gray and white. It is. It is. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. All right, here we are. Okay, we're going to stop on that frame right there. Look at Diddy's face and look at the guy over his shoulder face. I'm gonna just leave it right here. So, simply, why are you talking about this? It is because Pop Smoke is no longer alive. Pop Smoke was ambushed and he was taken up out of here. And I believe some artists are paid to do tracks that have the spirit of death. I believe Pop Smoke was one. King Von was one. I believe that the boy, what was his name? Juice World was one. Extension or whatever his name, he was one. I believe that they are paid and get number one hits off of laying a track and they do some spiritual whatever on that track. And then they place the, ad libs and the rappers rap on top of that track. Because you have to remember the tracks are recorded separately. You do your vocals, do your vocals. And that engineering process for that track, that's done by someone else known as a sound engineer. They're paid to create sounds. And just as I believe there is uh, a love sound frequency, there is a worship frequency, there is a greed frequency, there is a lust frequency, and there is also a death frequency. And nobody else noticed these guys end up dying. Another one who ended up dying, I think his name was, I don't want to get his name wrong, so I won't dishonor anyone by speaking their name associated with death if I don't recall their name. But this particular guy, he was part of the Migos or Three Migos or something like that. It's the Migos, and he ended up dead. Right? I believe that they are sacrificed. I do believe that. But at this party, the reason why I'm showing this. At this party, it kind of put a visual to the article that was released in 1999, and it was released by Jamie Foster Brown of Sister to Sister magazine. There was a young lady who were invited admitted into one of Diddy's parties. Now, let me say this about Diddy's parties back in the 90s. They were out recruiting people to attend them parties. That's no exaggeration. They would go to different cities looking for the baddest, finest, single, young women they could find, right? And they were only told to make it to NYC, then the rest would go from there. And they were looking for young women. I remember that. I'm serious. They would be all down in Freaknik. They would be all down in Black Bikers Week. And they would all be at Greek Fest. They would be all in Hampton, Virginia. I'm talking about they were everywhere. And girls were packing up in droves and asking, like this was a real thing of people asking, are you going to Diddy's party? Did you get an invite to Diddy's party? I'm serious. That was a thing, watching them asking each other about that. But anyway, there was a young lady who were admitted to one of Diddy's parties. Now, within the article, a lot of explosive information came out. Number one, it was within that article from 1999 that she stated that Diddy was having a sexual relationship with Usher. That is one of the explosive comments that were made, that Diddy was sleeping with Usher. She said she walked into the room and she said Usher was bent over. Those are her statements within that magazine, within that interview. The second thing that was revealed was she said that some of the girls were taken into a room. They were placed in a circle, and she said Diddy was doing some kind of chant or something in there. And she said all of a sudden the room got extremely unnaturally cold. And she said it wasn't air conditioning. And based on reports about the Satarenes worship, when he shows up, everything gets cold, unnaturally cold. Everything gets cold. You start hearing chains dragging, you know, and heaviness of walking. This is what they describe about him. Okay. And so, anyway, she said they were in there, and then all of a sudden they started, being told what to do and being given drugs and stuff, and to to get undressed. And she said, honest to goodness, she don't remember what happened after that. And she just remembers seeing bruises all over her body and things like that. So pretty much they were sacrificed in a manner that is sexual. People have to remember there are different types of sacrifice when it comes to certain occultic uh, religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, right? Now, I can admit when sister released that interview, it went crazy. It got real crazy. More exposés started coming out. More tea started coming out. Scorching hot, burn your lip, burn your tongue tea was coming out. But one trend was consistent, and it was about Diddy. It was. And what goes on at those parties, and why he had an all white party. That wasn't just because, oh, it's spring and that's not why those parties had to be all white. They were doing rituals. Yeah. The symbolism associated with, it isn't just for church. You get what I'm saying? I just want to put that in out there. But you can see here that uh let me go back to it. You can Let me go back to it. Do you see the lines and stuff coming from his face? And his face morphing, and it looked like right here somebody were trying to photograph something or something. Hold on. You see that? It you can literally see a face on the side of Pop Smoke's face. You see that? Diddy disappeared for a minute, and then all of a sudden he shows back up. And when he shows back up, his face looks like this. His face wasn't looking like that right here. It was starting, the morphing was starting, and then all of a sudden it goes to this full blown manifestation. So I believe there is a process, and I don't think the ones who ended up being targeted to be sacrificed are aware that they have been chosen, and it's not random neither. It's not. If you start looking between that period, starting October, running all the way up to the Met Gala, you wouldn't believe how many people, celebrities, just end up going. And another way you know that they're making spaces for new members, it's based on a number of celebs who die uh, as of the start of the winter solstice. That's what I believe. People who die within that window, that's how many slots they're gonna have open. And if you notice, all of a sudden, a lot of older Hollywood and young Hollywood, all of a sudden they end up not living no more. Has anyone ever wondered what happened to the other New York MCs that they were basically driven underground? Uh, Look at Sean, not Sean, Craig Mack. You look up, what was that guy named? The most beautiful girl in the world. I forgot his name. He disappeared. You look at, all of a sudden they started pushing people underground like Red Man and all of that. And it was front and center. Bad Boy was the king of East Coast rap or all of rap for a minute. Like they had the whole country in chokehold. And so Diddy did become a bit of a godfather to the industry where people had to get his clearance. But I can't admit some people, you know, he didn't care anything about what he did to you. And right now, I think he's being punished for something because if you notice, everyone who were connected with these scandals and allegedly sleeping with him, they all became astonishingly famous and retained their fame. They got to keep it. You notice that before anything came out. And so that's their membership. You're not going to the Super Bowl if you're not a member. You're not gonna do that. Not on their stage. You get what I'm saying? You are not going to be performing or have a residency without their permission. You're not. Mm-mm. You're not. The BET Awards are not allowed to occur during their time if you pay attention. You can do it some other time, but you're not gonna do it in the winter during regular award season. Yeah, you're not gonna do it then. You don't have permission to do it then. So you're gonna have to do your little award show during the summer months because you ain't doing it now. Not after October 31, all the way up to the spring. You ain't hosting nothing. The only things allowed to be occur for Hollywood during that time of initiation, you can get the Grammys and you're gonna get the Oscars. And that's how you can also tell they got their membership. That's why they be screaming and happy like that. It's not just because it's such an amazing award. No, that's not why. They know they got in. And then Met Gala comes. That's their formal event per se, for membership. Like, their little party, celebration party. And then you can tell different houses because after the Grammys, certain people have parties. You see, certain people attend certain people parties. They don't go to certain parties. Only certain people are selected for those specific different people who are hosting these different parties. That's because of whatever, coven or group they're with or belong to. Another sign of this, it is the Jonathan Majors, Megan Good situation. Now, I'll tell anybody, I've never seen, uh, what's her name? I've never seen Megan Good with an ugly man in my entire life, dating or otherwise. I believe Megan Good was sent by the Black Hollywood giants. I think she was told and paid to be with him to try to recover his career after what he did and what happened to restore him. It didn't come without a price, trust me. He knows in order to help it, I mean, change it and possibly get his career back, he gonna have to do some nasty stuff. I mean, some nasty work. I'm serious. It he has to he's been humiliated. Now he has to be debased. Now you have to die to that life and come back as one of theirs. And I don't think when people think about this stuff, they always kind of think of it in the lens of white people. Wrong move, should they come in all races, nationalities, colors, you name it. Okay, it's not what people, hold on one second, think it is. It's something totally different, should totally different. But that's my theory based on frame by frame watching this video. And I had to stop for a minute. Hold on one second. Uh, okay, so I'm sorry, y'all. I'm expecting something to come. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to try to see in real time. You can see it happening in real time. I'm not kidding you. Hold on, where is it at? Yeah, in real time, you can see it. I ain't cut you on half, cut off. That's weird, isn't it? Isn't that weird? This heifer just out of the blue said, I guess. Did y'all notice that the women eyes aren't glowing? Did y'all see that? Let me show you. See the red eyes for the ladies? Red eyes for the ladies. And red eyed ladies. I don't know who's sitting in there with a yellow cape on, but it's weird. No red eye ladies. None. And you see that little short one right there over this guy in white's shoulder? She's short, she's little. They go Diddy love putting his arms around people. He real touchy. But I don't know who he peed off or what he didn't do, but he has been stripped. He has been stripped. I also believe they got some stringent rules that we're not aware of. But I just wanted to show y'all this little, I don't know, just something popped up that the good Lord wanted me to see and also wanted me to show. And so I did. And now, you lovely people, you lovely saints of God, you lovely children of God, people of God, sons and daughters of God, what do you think about what I just said to you? Talk to you soon. Guess what, y'all? Before I forget, I got to have my little juicy grandson yesterday. I decided to give, 2 more days because I just wanted to spend time with him, honey. It's been too many weeks of he and I not having any time together. Honey, I went and got my grandbaby. Yes, indeed, honey. Yes, indeed. Can't wait to read y'all comments. Have an awesome day in every way.